let's get started with the good stuff. So recently, I've been hearing a little bit, not a whole lot. I saw an IGN article. They updated that article since then. I actually just read it just to refresh my brain because this is a couple weeks old. Right before I started the podcast, and it seems that Crash Bandicoot is coming to Xbox One. This is probably one of the weaker topics of the show. I'm not going to take a lot of time to talk about this, but I did want to talk about it because I find it interesting, but also not so interesting, and that might make sense in a moment. So, the way this game was really billed, was as this remaster, you could call it a return to form, but remaster for the Crash Bandicoot series, the original 3 or whatever, on the PlayStation 4, and it seemed like it was only going to be on the PlayStation 4. Obviously, that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. There was, I think it was some footage, I don't know if it was leaked or what, but of the game playing, and you could see like the button prompts, like it would say like the A button, and it's like the Xbox A button. So you know that's not a PlayStation controller, that's an Xbox controller. So, is this a big deal that Crash Bandicoot is coming to Xbox One? It seems to be. By the way, the other citing of evidence, IGN just had an update, I don't know, maybe within the last week or so, that said that retailers have started posting it on their websites as pre-order for the Xbox One, so that's a little bit larger of a hint that this is probably a thing, and those pictures or whatever it wasn't like forged or anything. But is this a big deal? Obviously most games are multi-platform now. I mean, you'll have your exclusives, like you won't see God of War on Xbox, you won't see Halo on PlayStation, and you won't see Mario on anything else other than Nintendo. But my point is this, I guess, let me reword this. Instead of saying, is it a big deal, is it surprising? No. I don't think it's surprising. I think that PlayStation did a really good job of playing it off like this is our exclusive. I mean, Xbox did the same thing at their E3 showing with all those games that were like, they're exclusive, and it's like, kind of, they're coming to PC, so what kind of exclusivity are we talking about here? Are we talking about they're only on Xbox, or are we talking about they're just not on everything else but PC and Xbox, which is obviously what they were referring to. PlayStation kind of did the same thing here. Made it seem like it was kind of theirs, and that's, so did the developers. That's just kind of how they didn't come out and say it won't be on other consoles, but they didn't say it would either. So Crash Bandicoot seems to be coming to Xbox One. So, like I said, one of the weaker topics, but I did want to touch upon it. And plus, we've had Crash games on Xbox before, so it's weird because they re-released these first 3 Crash games, right? And you think to yourself like, oh, he's just PlayStation, he's PlayStation mascot, he is PlayStation, and then you got to remember like, well, it wasn't that long after the first 3 Crash games that Crash started showing up on all platforms, Game Boy Advance, with like Crash. They had Crash Purple, and then they had like Wrath of the Cortex. I think that was on the original Xbox as well. Not all of them were exclusive, but still, Crash is not really PlayStation's anymore. It hasn't been since the PlayStation 1. So the fact that the remastered, and for anybody who thinks, well, Crash is PlayStation because this remaster, obviously that's not the case anymore because the remaster is coming to Xbox One.